Hi, my name is JP Larocque. I am a TV writer and a journalist. I've written extensively on the LGBTQ plus community and like to be involved with community organizations. So I'm very happy to be here today to talk about the representation of HIV and AIDS in TV and film.
My name is Jade Elektra. I am an HIV positive activist. I am the founder of POZ-TO and also the founder of POZPLANET magazine. I'm looking forward to looking at the film clips today. I'm going to give my opinion. I'm not a critic like you, but I'm going to give my opinion and share my lived experiences.
Every day in San Francisco, 2 more men hear the grim news. You have AIDS, there's no cure. Since doctors in France and America isolated the virus in 1983, research has proceeded at a frantic pace. The method used by the virus to destroy the body's immune system has been discovered, but a cure still seems many years away. A major breakthrough has been a new blood test.
Bohemian Rhapsody, this is the biopic of Freddie Mercury. I like the film. I don't think that it tells everything in chronological order. It kind of glosses over some of the sex and it glosses over a lot of the illness.
Freddie is such an incredible figure within obviously rock history, but also being a public figure who had AIDS, right? And I think that for me, what's disappointing about this particular film is that it's your traditional movie biopic. It's very, like, it takes the facts of his actual life and makes it into this kind of like inspiring narrative that isn't accurate to how he lived his life. Freddie was bisexual, whereas the film decides to very clearly state he's gay, and like that is who he is, and like, you know, like there is a sexuality binary of like gay and straight.
I think I'm bisexual.
Freddie, you're gay.
But also, too, I feel like something that frustrates me about it is that a lot of his sex and a lot of his queerness is kind of shaded as something that led directly into his status, and that he's somewhat punished for being queer and for being, you know, sex positive and out there.
I've got it. Got what? AIDS.
Fred, I'm so sorry.
Brian, stop. Don't. If any of you fuss about it or frown about it, or worst of all, if you bore me with your sympathy, that's just seconds wasted. I don't have time to be their victim, their AIDS poster boy, their cautionary tale. No, I decide who I am. Freddie fucking Mercury.
You're a legend, Fred.
We've just watched a scene where Freddie is disclosing to the band.
The diagnosis is treated almost kind of like, you know, like in a sports film, when they're like, we are facing our biggest challenge and now we must go out on the court or field and like win. And I just think that it's so strange to take something that was obviously, I mean, aside from the fact that timeline-wise, that was not what was happening at that moment in time. This wasn't before Live Aid, it was later that this happened.
The rumors were circulating. It was front page stuff about him, and they would hound him coming out of clubs or coming out of his home. I don't think that the movie really tapped into that, like how bad it was for him.
Now you give me a chance to get my bitchy little vocal cords in order, and we'll go and punch a hole through the roof of that stadium.
Actually, Wembley doesn't have a roof.
All right.
No, he's right, it doesn't.
Then we'll punch a hole in the sky.
At the time, people were so scared and didn't understand it. So like kind of having this attitude of like, we'll be okay, like everything is great, is just not very accurate to the amount of misinformation and fear and the stigma that an individual facing that at that time would have gone through.
You know when you know you've gone rotten? Really rotten. Fruit flies. Dirty little fruit flies. Coming to feast on what's left.
And in speaking to queer erasure, I think the fact that he starts off kind of in this very like heterosexual bubble with the band and is succeeding and doing well. Then gets lured into this horrible homosexual world of like gay clubs and drugs and sex, and is then punished. But then with this particular scene is like welcomed back into the heterosexual fold, I think is really interesting because it is this really strange vilifying thing in relationship to queerness and to sex positivity.
With a lot of Hollywood films, I think it's important for them to keep their heroes. So if they were to actually go deep into what he did and all the sex, I think a lot of heterosexual people would have been completely grossed out and turned off. I hate that kind of stuff. I hate when Hollywood does that. But, you know, it's still important that it was made.